Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's OpenAir Power Up series. I'm Ron Brove, CEO and President of TopStuff. Thank you for joining. Today's topic is ways to manage project budgets in NetSuite OpenAir. Project budgets are a key component of all projects. PMOs, project managers, spend hours per month monitoring budgets to ensure they have successful and profitable projects. If you're using OpenAir, there are several ways to store project budgets and manage them against actuals. Let's take a look. So the simplest budget option is the one where you can just inline edit the budget right within the project properties. So as you can see within this project, I can have my budget hours and my budget dollars right here. They can be integrated to, we can set these values from other systems as projects are created, which is a real benefit of this one. However, when budgets change, if your budget's going to change over time due to change orders or other impacts to the budget, this budget can be changed as needed, but you lose the history of how this budget was impacted throughout the life of the project. The alternative here is having a more transactional budget feature. And you'll notice in this scenario, the budget hours are still editable, but the budget dollars are read-only. And the reason they're read-only is because they are now editable under financials budget. And so with this feature enabled, you have the ability to have multiple budgets with descriptors and categorizations and be able to see over time what our original budget was, where our budget changed either to the positive or to the negative, and what is the net budget, the 55,000 in this case, is what's showing up in reporting and showing up on the project properties. So we often recommend this budget if your budget is subject to change orders or reductions and you need the visibility of monitoring the budget and the movement of the budget. You can put custom fields on these budgets. We've often seen where you can put a custom field for hours, and so you'll see there's one here. And then we've done scripts that sum up those hours and actually set the hours on the project. So now you have both the hours changes and the dollar changes over time on these budgets, along with descriptions. And also you can divide this between labor or expenses or any other categories you can add to your, for reporting purposes. The most complicated budget feature is a newer feature, and it's called a project budget. And it's also under financials. And really what this budget was meant to solve for is monitoring the expected cost to deliver the project over the actual cost to deliver the project. So this is really for cost management of your project. You can have also versions of this budget as well. So you can have an original version, and as changes are applied, you can have different change orders generating budgets. There is a lot that goes into this budget feature. If I edit up a budget here, we can see we can have our original budget, our date. We can see you can budget when you're creating these budgets. You can budget at a project level, down to a phase level, or down to even a task level. But once you do select, it does get locked in. You can embed what your expected cost to deliver this project is, what your expected profitability is, what your expected billing is, to see how you land when you're done. If you're looking at your labor, you can look at it by service or by job code. You can also import your labor costs either through task assignments or through bookings. And then once you set these up, it does create a budget, and it will be time-based budget. So it'll take the start date and either the assignments or the bookings, and it'll spread the budget. You'll see this is a 2-month project, March and April, and it's taking the amount of budget looking at money, cost. So there's a cost associated with the resources assigned to this budget. And it's taking that cost and generating budget amounts in the month where they're expecting those costs to fly. In addition to labor, you can have expense budgets. So you could come in here and you could add expense budgets. So tracking expenses again, as well as purchases are also available to be able to budget against. And again, this is budgeting each of these items down to a task level. You can see estimate to complete, estimate at complete here in this screen as well as your total cost to deliver this project based on the total hours. You can look at this by money, but you could also change this and look at this by hours and quantity. And then if you wanted to, as you're executing on the project, you could actually expose the billing information, how much you've invoiced into this as well. So here I'm looking at more hours based budgeting. Once you create these budgets, there's a couple of different ways you can look at this. There's a budget overview. So here we have our expected cost budget, profitability, billing budget. And here's we have what our total cost is so far, total billing, and what's remaining. So this kind of gives you your breakdown at a summary level of the budget of where you are. Then as work is being done, you start to see the actuals. So here I can come in here and now look at the actuals. And again, right now I'm looking at hours. So in the month of March, what was our planned hours? What was our approved hours for each period, for each month here? And then again, down to a task level. And then you can compare different budgets against each other. So you can kind of see what the difference is between budgets. So again, there is a lot to this feature. We really recommend clients really have a strong business case to implement this because it can be overwhelming to enable and set up. But it does solve a clear problem when your project managers or PMO are looking to really measure what is our expected cost to deliver this project versus what is our budgeted cost and actual costs, and where are we, how do we compare in the middle of a project. And this budget feature will give you that answer. Monitoring budgets, there's a few ways we see customers doing that. There is a budget alert where you can set the budget alert to send out when certain parameters are hit. So in this example, we've got an 80% alert that's running on a nightly basis. It's looking at approved hours as a percentage of the budgeted hours. It's excluding non-billable. It's also looking at invoice charges reaching 80% of the budget, and it's only looking at active projects. And you can limit what projects are being used here for these alerts. So you can set this alert. You can run nightly. When you cross the thresholds, it'll send an email out to the project owner, or you can add other users to get these alerts. And so this is a good way to also identify when you're reaching certain thresholds. So you can be a little proactive as, okay, we've hit our 80%. Are we actually delivered 80% of the work? If not, maybe we need to start reevaluating where we are with this project and make some changes. Reporting on budgets is very, very standard, and there's lots of different ways to slice and dice the data. I've created a simple cross-tabbed report that is looking by project and customer, and it's basically showing what my budget minus what's been invoiced. So this would be, what is our remaining backlog of billable work to be done based on budget minus actuals. And this is a really good, metric that customers really look for to kind of identify if there's any problems. Like here, we've gone over our budget by our invoicing. So did we get a change order? Do we need to have a conversation with the customer? So, this is an extreme case of there's a problem with this project for sure. So lots of different ways to manage your budgets, lots of different ways to monitor your budgets. Thank you again for joining this Power Series. If you want to know more, please contact TopStep. You can reach us at topstepllc.com or follow us on LinkedIn. Thank you again. Have a great day.